Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
The Lakers have obviously lost the plot. I mean, is this about building a championship contender or another Hollywood script? Can't tell at this point.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Streaming live on YouTube. Here's Theo Dorsey.
I, for one, am always on board with a dad doing a nice thing for his son. I'm obviously been calling Bronny James to the Lakers for a while now. Plus, the JJ Redick hiring doesn't bother me at all. Like, if the Lakers want that guy, if they think he can be their next quote-unquote Pat Riley, so be it. And by the way, if JJ Redick's plans are to become the next Pat Riley, I really hope he's taking notes. I mean, saw the big signing the Miami Heat got. Pat Riley at work. Alec Burks in the crib. Championship season in Biscayne Boulevard. I don't know. But for the Lakers, I'm obviously curious right now, right? They've had our attention since they've started flirting these headlines out there, since LeBron James had his podcast going with JJ Redick. They have made sure to stay in the spotlight and to stay in the front of all of our minds. But the problem, the thing that's been racking my own brain is, what the heck is the plot? What the heck is the point of all of this for the Lakers? And also, as we learned today that LeBron James inks his big max contract, 2 years, a 1+1, as well as Bronny James signing it on the very same day. I wonder how they were able to orchestrate that. Oh, yeah, they have the same agent and also, I guess, the same last name. It works out that way. I really wonder what the actual angle is here. What LeBron James, the Los Angeles Lakers, their brass, as well as his camp, believe can happen for the Lakers. We're going to learn a lot more about that based on the rest of this offseason for them. But based off of these contracts and the way that they were reported, it doesn't feel like this has anything to do with winning, with actual winning and chasing the 18th championship to try and tie the Boston Celtics and also further solidify LeBron James's legacy. And it feels like it has more to do with the next chapter of the inevitable LeBron documentary, which I'll be, front and center, right in line to watch it. Theoretically speaking, here on a Wednesday, July 3rd, and it is a packed show today per usual. We got Mike Tannenbaum joining us later to talk some NFL. I got some questions around Daniel Jones and those New York Giants, who, speaking of making a Hollywood script, I'm all in on Hard Knocks during the offseason. This is going to be my favorite Hard Knocks. I'm not a huge preseason guy. I'm not a huge fan of the traditional Hard Knocks. Definitely not really as locked in the in-season one that the Miami Dolphins had last year. But in the offseason, watching the general manager and the front office talk about trades and transactions, I'm a little bit stoked for that. July 4th, tomorrow, a lot of big plans going on around here. C-Cat, who's on the ones and twos, carrying it with me through 6 o'clock. Do you have any big plans for Independence Day? Are you kicking it? Are you hopping on the grill? Are you just getting a couple glizzies in your hand, maybe a 5-piece like you were talking about last week, and going after it? Like, what's your plans?
The 5-piece that we're referencing is, how many hot dogs do you think you can hold in one hand? With bun and wiener, how many could you hold in one hand? At 5, I think, is the max. But, yeah, taking a flight up to New York tomorrow morning, then going to Pennsylvania, seeing some college friends, going to Yankees Red Sox on Sunday night. A lot of stuff going on, man.
Yeah, that's way too much. Like, take it easy. I know we get 4 days here, but just take it easy, man. Like, get some rest. We've been working hard.
You're taking a flight too. Like, you're out of town almost every weekend.
I know. But it's gonna be a good time. We're going to Minneapolis with the my wife's families. We don't say in-laws in this crib. By the way, if you want to see,
wait. So in-laws is worse than saying your wife's family.
Side of the family.
Okay.
The wife's side of the family.
Your wife's family.
It's my family as well, but my wife's side of the family. It's easier to describe it, but it is the weird thing, right? We talk about how we don't say in-laws, and then, like, we never have still figured out that word. Like, I just got married to my wife in February, and I still haven't figured out what to call her parents, right? Like, not mom or dad, because that's weird.
Yeah.
I also don't know what to call that side of the family. Like, so I'm still struggling with that, as you can tell. If there are any hints, any clues, if you have any ideas, if y'all came up with a creative way to do so, as I'm learning what it's like to be in a union. let us know. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. What do you call the in-laws, if not the in-laws? Because, I mean, do I call them like bonus family?
I feel like it's a tougher question when you have kids. Or no, it's an easier question when you have kids. You call them grandma, grandpa,
That's
nana,
true.
pop-pop. Like, it does it for you. You just call them that with the kids around, so you keep that title. It's harder when you don't have kids.
Yeah.
I think you just call them by their names.
Well, you know what? That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. That's
if it's your struggle and not daycare every day,
yeah. Like, I've seen the prices of daycare. I've been talking to my cousin Nick as he's trying to potty train his child, and that struggle sounds a lot more difficult than me trying to figure out what to call my wife's side of the family. But yes, I will be taking a trip as well, enjoying the holiday weekend with them. In the Midwest, they do it big for July 4th. Like, that's their holiday because, Thanksgiving is super cold. Christmas is super cold. Like, those are the typical holidays where people get together. But I feel like that's the big part because it's good to be in the Midwest in the summertime. Like, is that also the same for, like, Northeastern cats like you?
Yeah. I mean, the unofficial middle of summer, July 4th, even July 4th in Oklahoma when I lived there for 2 years, that's the only time fireworks are legal. So not in my city limits. So we had to drive out to someone's farm, to someone's cornfield, and light it off. And a cop came one time and tried to get me. But I drove away. He didn't get me.
He didn't get you. So you got away from the cops successfully.
Yeah, he was trying to find the perpetrator of lighting off the fireworks. Couldn't find me.
Look at that. Evasive sea cat.
I know.
This cat's got 9 lives on the prowl. I do have to get into this. The Los Angeles Lakers back in the headlines again today because per usual, LeBron finds his way to do so, to keep us talking about him. When I saw the way that they reported the deal that he just struck, LeBron James agreeing to a 2-year, $104 million max contract. It includes a player option on the second end of it. He also gets a no-trade clause. He's the only other player, and there's only one other player in the NBA with a no-trade clause. And C-Cat, I know you're thinking it's right on the tip of your tongue. The other guy with no-trade clause is?
Paul George. I don't know.
That was actually a pretty decent guess. I mean, similar stature in the league, but Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal. So you're doing something right or necessarily wrong if the only other franchise to grant someone a no-trade clause was the Washington Wizards, giving it to Bradley Beal, and now finally LeBron James has one as well. But yes, he gets the no-trade clause. He pretty much gets everything he wants. I'm wondering if he gets a part ownership in the Lakers in this deal. It also came with Bronny James, his son, getting a 4-year deal, $7.9 million, all guaranteed, the 4th year a team option, but as a second-round pick, a 55th selection. It is literally an anomaly that Bronny James got that kind of a deal. And again, to me, it further illustrates the point that I made back when LeBron got his son drafted in the NBA draft. This plot for LeBron has totally shifted at this point. His priority is no longer trying to cement his legacy with championships, getting the 5th and then possibly the 6th one to tie Michael Jordan. I'm not even sure how much he cares right now today about how many games the Lakers win in this season, maximizing the amount of top talent on his roster. LeBron James, it feels like right now, is cementing his legacy by flashing to us how much power he has, not just in the NBA, but with the Los Angeles Lakers franchise, which is such a historic team to run. It feels like him on the back end of his career as he realizes it's going to be harder to be a mercenary and try to pull up to a random city as a family man who wants to take care of his kids and be with his wife and also start all of his post-career ventures in Hollywood. It feels like now he's realizing, like, part of how I can flex my muscle and show people just how great and grand my career is by taking over one of the most historic franchises. Move aside, Magic Johnson. Jerry West, you did your job. You helped build this thing, but here I am. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the captain. You were amazing in your time, and again, I love the winning time performance by Cap, one of my favorite shows I've watched as of recently. But no, it's time for the big kahuna, the king, the chosen one to step in here, and he's literally dictating everything for this Los Angeles Lakers franchise. Between getting his podcast buddy hired as the head coach, good job, his son drafted, and now getting him an unprecedented 4-year contract with the Lakers, up to $8 million fully guaranteed. LeBron James is really doing it right now, and I do think that it is a little bit of a sticky situation if you're a Lakers fan or somebody invested in this franchise, because you have to sit back and wonder, with LeBron taking that much of the cap And what it seems like he intentionally took the max, which is reported in here that they would be up over the second apron, which every other NBA franchise right now is making erratic moves to make sure that they stay below the second apron, which is a certain hard cap that the NBA is newly introducing into the league to create more parity. We just watched the Los Angeles Clippers let Paul George walk to the Philadelphia 76ers because they were so afraid of the second apron. And now we're watching their in-town rivals, the Lakers, give LeBron a contract that's going to financially and transactionally strip them of a lot of what they could do, a lot of their tools. And I feel like LeBron is making sure that that's out there, that he's got the Lakers to fold over to that just to flex to us how much power he has on the way out the door. Like, and also, C-Cat, I asked this on Twitter earlier, and I'm curious to know your angle on it. Who do you think has a longer tenure, a longer stay with these Los Angeles Lakers now that LeBron has signed his contract and Bronny as well? JJ Redick, who just got hired as the head coach, LeBron, who signed the 1+1 and can be gone as early as next year on his own volition, or his son Bronny James, who might hold the least amount of value to the franchise, but he has the most guaranteed contractual future with them with a 3+1 on his player deal. Like, that's out on Twitter at Theo Dorsey TV. You can tweet or vote on that on Twitter. But C-Cat, I ask you, because I think the person that's going to be with the Lakers the longest is going to end up being JJ Redick, just because of the fact that they do feel like before they made this hire that that's their new Eric Spoelstra, their new Pat Riley. They have that faith in him. But for you, C-Cat, of those three, who do you think lasts the longest over there at the Crypto.com arena?
I think it's Bronny, and I think it's going to drop like dominoes. I think you're going to have a rather underperforming year one with Redick, Bron, and Bronny, if you even count him in the equation of how the Lakers will perform next year. I think year two, they'll stumble out of the gates and then say goodbye to JJ Redick. He's the first domino to fall.
Wow.
And then 2 years on this deal for LeBron, right? I mean, LeBron has been the exception in so many times that eventually father's time is going to sneak up on him. And I don't think LeBron James is a guy who is happy being complacent or being average when it comes to the game of basketball. LeBron's not going to be able to peter out into 19, 18 points per game, averaging average numbers for what many consider the greatest player of all time. So he's going to retire.
Man.
And then what are the Lakers going to do with LeBron James Jr.?
You think they're just going to get rid of him?
Yeah. He's not worth that spot if we don't need him to have LeBron James. He's gone third. So it goes JJ, then LeBron, then Bronny.
It's good sequential order there. It would make sense. I don't know if they would just give him up for nothing, because I'm not sure what anybody would give up to get Bronny James at this point. He's only valuable to the Lakers because he's a cog to keep LeBron James happy and in-house. But I guess I could see it. He is also the most, like I said, he's the least consequential to what they're wanting to do, at least quote-unquote, what they're supposed to be wanting to do, which is winning. You're winning if you're with EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing. And we talk about this often here because in South Florida, one of the most consequential things you can have for your household, for your family, and for your own sanctity is a working air conditioning unit in your house. It's only getting hotter out here. We are on, July 3rd today, and things are only continuously heating up. You cannot play games when it comes to who is servicing your home. EDSairconditioning.com. That's the website to go to. Hop online right now and check it out. EDS says yes. They are a train comfort specialist, and it's hard to stop a train. Since 2006, they have been servicing Palm Beach County and the surrounding areas, and they've been doing it at the highest of levels. I'm a Gold Plan member with EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing. That means I get two annual visits from a technician, and that technician comes in not just to do repairs, but preventative measures to make sure that my AC doesn't go out at the wrong time. And then that temperature starts going and climbing on your thermostat, and then when you look up, it's too late. Now you got stuff spoiling in your refrigerator, and you got your kids and your wife now dealing with problems that you could have circumvented if you got out ahead of it. And that's what I'm trying to get you to do. Get out ahead of it and get with EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing. EDS is yes, EDSairconditioning.com. We're going to have Mike Tannenbaum join us. We hinted at the fact that, yes, I'm a fan now. I'm wrapped up in what Hard Knocks is going to be in the offseason for the New York Giants. I don't give two flying flips about what the Giants season will be like, nor do I care if this is the year for Daniel Jones. But those are the kind of things we heard, like literally the GM of the Giants profess on Hard Knocks in training camp. And for me, I think this is my type of TV. This is my type of ball. We'll see how former NFL general manager Mike Tannenbaum feels about the new Hard Knocks, and also about, is this really the year where we're going to find out what we need to know about Daniel Jones in a New York Giants uniform? Don't we already know what that is? We'll ask the expert himself on the other side. It's a Wednesday ahead of July 4th weekend. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident